Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Hi everyone. I hope you people are enjoying my videos and in fact getting a very valuable information with respect to your examination. So now students, this video agenda number 5 and we are going to start to attempt part B of the question. Part B having two components. The first one is about the Z division and the application, knowledge and application of IFRS 5 held for sale conditions, part B1. So let's start with the requirement. First of all, part B, using exhibit 2, and in accordance with IFRS 5, non-current asset held for sale and discontinued operation, there are two parts. Number one, consider whether the assets of the Z division is a division of the subsidiary trailer. Consider whether the asset of the Z division should be reclassified as held for sale during the year end 31st March 2026 and discuss the impairment principle with respect to trailer. So part B, first component about Z division we will cover with this video. Total marks 6. With respect to Z division, we will consider examiner apportion 3 marks. Calculation are not required. Okay. So, if we are going to start this question, the very first point is about planning. Number one, plan your answer. Once you have read the requirement, it's identified. We are covering 3 marks. That's we have 6 minutes. The rule of 2080. For 3 marks, you have planning time of 1 minute. Make sure you have planned with 3 things. Read the requirement very clearly and you have got understanding that what actually examiner expectation. Number 2, make sure that context of the question is very clear. You haven't missed any point from the context. And number 3, just before attempting the question, just before entering into the war, first have to brainstorm what you will write. So first, marks management. Make sure that you have read the requirement very carefully. We have done it. And the facts inside the question we have read it. So I strongly suggest with this type of question, you need to recall the facts. Here about or here the reference of exhibit 2. So just quickly recall exhibit 2. Activities of trailer differed significantly from rest of the group. To enable group to focus upon its core activities, auto company parent decided to sell majority of shares in trailer. Okay, that is about disposal of subsidiary trailer. Until recently, trailer considered of 3 division, Truck Force Z. On 30th September X5, do you remember? The reporting date is 31st March X6. So it's current era, during the year. On 30th September X6, third party, the potential acquirer, Wheel Company, agreed to purchase 90% of auto company's investment in trailer. All the context till now it's about subsidy, but the story starts here. The agreement stated the purchase would not go ahead until auto company disposed or closed down division Z. That means Z is one of the division of the subsidiary. And here the requirement about to classify Z as held for sale. So recall the knowledge. IFRS 5 says that any of the single asset or the group of assets, if you wanted to declare or classify held for sale, two prime conditions. Number one, immediately available for sale. That's about the division Z, all assets. And number two, sale is highly probable. And for sale is highly probable, some judgment point required. For example, identification or actively locate the buyer, price is reasonable, and number of other points to support immediately available for sale. But IFRS 5, a categoric point about abandon. If the company has decided to abandon or with this case abandon or with this case transfer to other division, so it's not possible to apply IFRS 5 held for sale. Particularly for abandon, it's not possible to apply IFRS 5 held for sale. So here, continue the reading. There was no obvious acquirer of asset of Z at this time, and it was uncertain how long the process takes. So the first statement beforehand is that no obvious acquirer. It's no worries. If no obvious acquirer, it doesn't matter. But the adding on, it was uncertain how long this process would take. That's become suspicious. That's become uncertainty to apply about the IFRS 5. Consequently, connect the points with this next para. Auto company begin to sell individual assets. Begin to sell individual asset of Z to different buyers. Again, none of the individual disposal were material to the group. Although company has intention, but no individual disposal will become materialized to the group. And finally, at year end, our reporting date, till the reporting date, 31st March 6, unsold non-current assets were abandoned or transferred to other divisions. Outstanding liabilities were settled and the trade of Z ceased. That's the point of abandon and transfer. So if we connect the dots, no sale materialized and the asset were abandoned or transferred, that means the IFRS 5 conditions for held for sale, it's not able to meet here. It's not become possible to report as held for sale. So the next point is about the negotiation between Auto and Veer related to trailer. That's another point. That's another component of part B. So till now, it's very clear about the context of the question. So let's move. So we have read the requirement. We have read the facts. It's very clear. So that means Z as a disposal group, all the assets held for sale classification rules. Here the issue. This is the issue. So what we should do here, explanation and application. Explanation and application. No calculation. So our minds must be very much clear. The rule of the drafting, never forget. Number one, always start with a simple explanation. Start with simple explanation with your own wordings of IFRS 5. Then application. Simultaneously connect with the case study. Your time is very limited here. For 3 marks, you have only 5 minutes. So just before entering into the war quick brainstorm. That's what the sequence I will write here. Number one, start with basic IFRS 5 statement. Basic about held for sale conditions. Start with very basic and catch very easy 1 mark. Number two, application. No obvious buyer and there are uncertainty. An asset become adding on. Connect the dots. Asset become abandon and transfer. So adding with connecting these two dots. Concluding point, it's not possible to apply held for sale. We have to report according to the normal accounting standards, not according to IFRS 5. So this is what about the brainstorming. Now the point, how to write answer. So first you need to make a heading. Make a heading. Part B, Z division held for sale. Just a moment. Yes. I hope that screen is much clear now. So first off, very committed. Whatever the brainstorming you have done, very committed. And be stick with the time management. So number one, you have to mention something. Non-current asset held for sale classification. So you need to mention, for example, to classify the asset here, make the statement to classify the asset of the Z division as held for sale. It would necessary to consider the condition of IFRS 5 at the reporting date 30th September X5. So first point is very basic. If wanted to classify it for sale at reporting date, Z division at reporting date, the condition should be met. Now start with the application. No obvious, you will mention that no obvious buyer is identified till the reporting date, and there are still uncertainty. So you need to mention that the IFRS 5 conditions about immediately available for sale and sale is highly expected. So first it's about the knowledge. But here the case, no obvious buyer, and in fact uncertainty about the long process would take place. So this is the first point. Number two, application, another point. You need to connect the points. The assets of the Z division become abandoned and transferred to other division. So this is the another dot point. You can say that further evidence that criteria would probability not have met here. That's about this. So these two application case, and then put a final comments. So should we make a heading here? No, because the time is very limited. You have only 3 to 4 minutes to complete your answer. Total time 6 minutes. If you have already invested your time for planning 1 minute, you have only 4 to 5 minutes. Then finally, then put the comments. So candidates, now it's time to refer your suggested answer. So for your convenience, I have made the solution. Don't worry, that will available to all of you people. To classify to reclassify, just quick reading, to reclassify asset Z division held for sale, it would necessary to consider the conditions of IFRS 5, whether any of the asset should be reclassified at reporting date. with a very basic statement. Here you have started the answer by putting the knowledge and simultaneously application, because you have incorporated the name of the company as well. Number two, with this application, 2 points are important. Here, with the case, no obvious buyer and still uncertainty about the long process would take. It's mentioned in the question. And the another point, asset become abandoned and transfer. So you need to read these 2 points as well, and then make a final comments. So it's not very difficult, but organize your answer. That's important. If you attempt your practice question, attempt your examination with this direction, that is called organized answer. And this drafting technique is also about that conservative wording approach. Conservative here means your limited words but reflect the complete communication. For example, with this first statement, you not just only mention the knowledge but also the application. One sentence, but the conservative approach called one sentence communicate the knowledge as well as application. But this will develop your you will develop that particular type of ability over the period of time. So that is the point. That's the point. So now the next point is about some examiner report. Examiner report. We have done the suggested solution. Now what examiner says? What examiner says? Point number 9. With this point number 9. Yes. You know very well, for the examiner report, we have more concern about the weakened points and the complaints rather than the good answers. But overall, we can read this. There are 2 requirements with the 6 marks. Good answers, balance coverage between them. So you need to split your answer. Candidates must read the requirement carefully. This is the examiner comment. And in the first bullet point, candidates were asked to consider Z division to meet the criteria of classification held for sale. That is what the part of the planning. Read the requirement and read the context very carefully. Okay, ignore trailer right now. Next video. In the case of Z division, good answer begin with the description of the criteria of reclassification held for sale, which were then applied to the scenario. Knowledge, application, both are important. Another very important point, the temptation to cut and paste large chunks from the exhibit should be avoided. A limited chunk, just copy paste, you can do that. But large chunks should be avoided, as this will gain no marks. Just copy paste the answer without any relevance, without any significance of the communication, no answers. There were no obvious acquirer of asset of Z, and there was uncertainty over when they may happen. This may happen. So assets were being sold piecemeal or abandoned. So here, very important, strong answer. And I hope that you will be the part of that category of students who draft the strong answers. Strong answers applied this to the criteria of IFRS 5. For example, abandoned assets cannot be classified as for sale because carrying amount will not recover through sale transaction. So students, that is all about B first component, that is Z division held for sale point. So whatever you are learning with these videos, your responsibility to apply with the next questions. So now agenda number 6, but you need to wait for the another video. Thank you very much. Take care a lot. Assalamu alaikum.